and Mark McKinnon. He is the former advisor to George W. Bush and John McCain, the executive producer of The Circus. Good evening to both of you. Let's see if you can top that. 75 million people in the path of a bomb cyclone. I know you guys are the bomb, but that's a big storm. Good evening, Mark. Let's talk about Republicans. Signed up to serve as fake electors, hit with subpoenas today. Knowingly or not, they were all part of the Trump team plot to overturn the election. So even if a few cooperate, what could that mean for the Select Committee's investigation, sir?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand the potential legal ramifications, Don, but just as a guy who, is a shallow media guy, it occurs to me that this seems to be a significant development and a shift, because this is an intentional plan to obfuscate and to forge documents to suggest that somebody was elected to overturn a free and fair election. That, to me, that suggests a much deeper plot to subvert democracy and to violate the law, clearly.
Kirsten, we're also learning that the Select Committee subpoenaed Trump's deputy press secretary, Judd Deere, saying that he has firsthand knowledge of Trump's behavior before and during the deadly insurrection. How valuable do you think his testimony could be?
Well, I think it'd be incredibly valuable because it could shed more light on what Donald Trump was thinking and doing on the day before January 6th, because he was reportedly, saying things that were pretty problematic in terms of what are you going to do about the rhinos, the Republicans in name only. He was saying this in a staff meeting in the White House the day before January 6th. So that certainly would suggest that Donald Trump was in on this and was pretty aware of what was going on, and can't really claim to not have known, to not have been pushing people to try and overthrow an election when he's saying things like that on January 5th. So, I think it would be very, very meaningful.
Mark, I want to turn now to the current president, President Biden, getting some good news this week. He'll be CNN learning exclusively tonight that the House January 6th committee has subpoenaed the former White House Deputy Press Secretary Judd Deere. The committee says Deere helped formulate the White House response as the insurrection was raging. It comes as they are also subpoenaing 14 individuals involved in the fake elector scheme. So joining me now, CNN's senior law enforcement analyst and former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Andrew, thank you for joining us. Let's discuss this now. The committee's saying that they want to speak to Deere about January 5th. There was a meeting in the Oval Office where, according to them, Trump repeatedly asked, and I quote here, "What are your ideas for getting the rhinos to do the right thing tomorrow? How do we convince Congress?" What do you think the committee wants to ask him?
Deere is the proverbial fly on the wall. Deere was in the room. He's maybe a participant in these conversations, but if not, at least a witness to what was said, what the president said, what his advisors responded with. Don, when you're investigating an organized crime group and they conduct their business in, let's say, a social club in Brooklyn, you don't absolutely need a member of the organized crime group. It's okay to have the bartender or the coat check person. Whoever is in the room, sees and hears what's going on, they can be very good witnesses. That's Judd Deere.
Then we have the new subpoenas to the key players in the fake electors scheme. This one is just unbelievable to me. At first, this looked like a bizarre sideshow with a sweaty press conference and stunts. But this is looking a lot more serious now.
I thought the same thing, Don. It looked like this kind of crackpot theory, but now when you look deeper, there are so many layers of people involved. You've got Rudy Giuliani and Janet Ellis, who really seem to be driving this thing. You have the electors in each of these 7 states. You have other Trump administration-affiliated people and mouthpieces who are out there on television promoting it. You have lawyers writing memos to the president about it. So it's multi-layered, many people involved in what appears to be a conspiracy to overthrow the election in the form of this nonsensical fake electors thing. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, we got all the players like Rudy Giuliani you mentioned, right? But could they be trying to tie this to Trump?
Absolutely, absolutely. These people aren't doing all of this stuff just for their own benefit, right? There, at some point, the theory would be that it has to come back to the president himself. Now, whether or not they'll ever be able to prove that is a very big question. and that remains to be seen, but that seems to be the direction that the committee is pushing.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew McCabe. I appreciate that.